Hey guys, welcome back to my recap for Days of Our Lives, March 13th, 2026. I apologize for the late upload, but here we are. Let's get into it. So, Brady and Alex, they're still on a search for Stephanie, and Brady informs Alex of the new developments in the case, that it may not be Jeremy after all. It may be Owen Kent, somebody from her past. And Alex fails to believe it because he thinks the evidence is strong and compelling, and Jeremy is that guy. He is not trying to look beyond his boorish brain that, okay, it could be somebody else. It could be Jeremy being set up. He's just so fixated on Jeremy. But Brady's saying that, we have to really look at other other elements of this as well. We can't just think it's just gonna only point to Jeremy. We have to think about Owen. It has happened before, and while that's happening, Owen is in the back listening on them. And Brady said there's been sightings of him. He hasn't been seen in Salem almost 20 years ago, but at the same time, there have been recent sightings of him and everything. So when Owen heard that, that's when he decided to escape. So they decided to go back to hospital to see what else they can find. Alex said that they, looked up and down. Clearly they haven't, because they didn't go to the other parts where Stephanie's actually being, stowed away. But anyways, they go to the hospital to meet up with Kayla and Steve and all that. Now, EJ is my guy, and I ride with EJ, good and bad and indifferent. But Lord, I cannot be happy with what he's proposing Ralph to do, which is to dispose of Stephanie and Jeremy. The work must continue, and he's telling Ralph to take the tube away or the pod away when the police come, because they found out that Stephanie made that 911 call and they traced it back to the hospital. He doesn't want no involvement whatsoever. And I'm saying, even though he wasn't the one who kidnapped Stephanie and Jeremy, he could have absolved himself before he made it more complicated by trying to dispose of them, right? He would say father would be, willing to make sacrifices for, the bigger picture. But I'm just saying, this is cruel, EJ. Lord, you're coming more and more like your father, and with this spring, it's worse. So anyways, Ralph said that he was going to do what he had to do. So that was what happened. Paulina came over and she's like, did you get my calls? And he said he's been busy, he's going on his way to the hospital. She said, no, you better make time for this right now, because Stephanie made a 911 call and it, pinpointed back to the hospital. So did you get, were you able to get the pod to another location? Because the police and FBI are going to scrub back over that place and all that. So EJ said it's going to take care of, and I know you're really concerned about this whole thing and it falling back on you. And I know if my sister is, you just want it to happen so that this doesn't happen. So Lexi doesn't come back, and your marriage would be maintained with Abe. But if my sister is to come back and Abe does leave you for her, I mean, you're a wealthy woman, you're good looking, you'll find somebody at your advanced age. And I'm saying, EJ, I had to laugh at that, because why, EJ, you had to mention the woman being of advanced age? And Paulina was already about to strike, and she said, you know what, I'm not gonna waste my energy on you. You're a soulless snake, and I've dealt with many snakes, but you are the worst I've dealt with. And me and Abe will be good regardless. It is solid. And if you were capable of love, you would understand what it is, right? But you haven't known what it is to love or to be loved and all that. So anyway, she said that she's out of here because EJ was just making more and more jobs and all that. So yeah. Now, Kat and Kayla, they were at the lab again, and Kat was trying to help decode the door to see what's going on in the lab, see if Stephanie is there. She finally gets through, and there's no sign of Stephanie. So at this point, they're trying to wonder, where is anything now? Kayla's looking through, they're not seeing any doors. The mirrors are known for their secret doors, EJ is, and there's nothing that they're finding. But of course, Kat already see what she can actually go further onto. Now, Rafe and Steve, they heard about it, they came through, and they thought they would see Stephanie. She's not there. So what happens is that Steve and Kayla leave so that Rafe can do further investigations. Kat talks to him, and Kat says she didn't want to really tell Kayla and Steve. She just want to confide in him and tell him that EJ does have a secret door. Maybe there's a hideaway. She does have the blueprints in EJ's office. So she directed Rafe to where that would be, and Rafe said, you know what you can do is go and distract EJ so that he doesn't come over here so that I can do what I have to do. Now Rafe, Kat is like, do you really think he's behind this? And he said, well, it has happened before. He has worked with Owen to kidnap Stephanie, so it's not far-fetched. And then again, we also know that he might be up to something unscrupulous in the lab, so it's not hard to think that EJ might be a suspect. But she's thinking that he seemed very sincere about Stephanie being missing, and she's, it's not that she really likes him or is really trusting of him, but at the same time she doesn't think he's capable of doing that. But Rafe is saying that he has heard so many people done cruel things to a lot of people, and she said, all right, I'm gonna trust you and all that. So he said, just be careful with all that. So he went and got the blueprints, and that's when he ran into Alex. We'll get into that at some point. EJ is on his way to the hospital to really stop the police and FBI to get involved. So Kat stops him, and she's saying, EJ, I heard about what's going on, that the police and FBI are over there trying to find Stephanie. What's really going on? So he said, yeah, I heard about it. That's where they're going to. But she said, before you go, I need to ask, do you know what's happening? Are you involved in this kidnapping? And he said, no, I have nothing to do with that. She said, are you sure? And he said, I can take when other people blame me for everything going on, but your thoughts and opinions matter dearly to me. You're a great colleague, assistant, you're a great friend, and even more than that. So Kat used what she could to distract EJ, because EJ seems to be falling for her for some reason. He's drawn to her, and she just took that opportunity to kiss him. I don't know if she has feelings. It may seem so, or maybe she's just using him, to get more dirt on him, to nail him. But let's see. So Steve and Brady, they are at, I guess, the Kent funeral home, thinking they could find Kent, because Steve did get a call from Jada saying that they did spot Owen. He was in this hotel room for a while since last fall, and they got a tip that he was there, but he checked out today. So Steve is saying that with criminals, they like to go back to their hunting grounds whenever they're getting found out. So he decided to go out. Brady was behind him as well, because Brady had an idea where he could be hiding about. Before that, he and Kayla did go to pray at the chapel, and Alex went along with Rafe to find out some more information. Now, when Brady and Steve go to the funeral home, they're talking about, where he could possibly be hiding. But then Owen made it easy for them. He was there in the hoodie, and they were able to nab him, and they're asking, where's Stephanie? Where's Stephanie? And I'm just saying, this was just so easy. But anyways, can we just clap Brady for using his one brain cell to kind of find out where Owen may be, that Owen may be a likely suspect? Who would have thought Brady would be the one to crack the code? And he's not like, he has any private investigation background, no experience in that. I mean, yes, his father was a part of Black Patch, but was he involved in that? I don't remember that. Maybe he found his new calling, because he is looking for a new career from Basic Black. So who knows? Maybe he could be, Steve's wingman, right hand in this thing, and he is John's son, so it would make more sense he's a part of this thing. Jeremy and Stephanie, they're trying to still figure out their way out of this, because at this point Owen is gone. I don't think he's coming back, but while he's gone, they're trying to figure out. So Stephanie, using her her thoughts from her novel and trying to pick the locks, pick the handcuff. Jeremy did dislocate his thumb to try to get out the handcuff. That worked, but in order to not prevent pain, they figured out another way. So Stephanie saying, maybe you need to go ahead. I'm not in no condition to run, so you need to go try to open the door and find help to get back to me. He doesn't want to leave her, and he's like, we're going to get out together. He tries encouraging her, and she said, okay. So he took the bobby pins out of her hair, as he suggested, and he was able to free himself. Then he was trying to free her. She was free. Now he's trying to get the door open, and Stephanie's trying to get up, and she was too weak to really get up. right? She's dehydrated, she's tired, exhausted, as understood. And I'm just saying, like, these people, when they get tired of, when they didn't go to the bathroom, do they just pee themselves there? Because it's been a couple of days now. Their bladders must be exhausted too. Now, Rafe and Alex, they do look over the blueprint and they notice that there's a secret door. Now, Rafe was thinking he needed more manpower, but Alex was able to open the door and they were able to get through. Now, Rafe is in the other room where the pod was, and he's like, what's really going on here? He's looking at the pod. I don't know if EJ was able, or Rolf was able to move the pod. Maybe he's seen that there's a body in there. Who knows? But he's like, oh my gosh. So while that's happening, Alex goes to the next room and he busses in, and he saw Jeremy trying to really hold on Stephanie, because Stephanie at this point is unconscious. She's exhausted, and Jeremy's trying to encourage her to fight and all that. So let's see how Alex really take the situation, because maybe he'll still think Jeremy is behind this, or he's involved in whatever, or he may just do a 180 and just be thankful that Jeremy was able to keep her grounded and be her company, and he wasn't behind, and he owes him a damn good ass apology. Like, he needs to eat crow for this, because he was wrong, right? Stephanie did the right thing and apologized, so hopefully he and his boorish brain can do the right thing and actually apologize to the guy, because he deserves it. But let's see how this goes next week. Next week should be interesting. We see EJ getting arrested in the promo. We see Owen being brought in for questioning, and Stephanie getting the help that she needs. So let's see how this all plays out. Let's see. And so anyways, guys, that's it for today's recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend.